And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're taking a look at another one of these small little games, which is all the rage, and it's from Japan, which is also all the rage, called Donburiko, acorn rolling down. Okay, the rules in this game are really poorly translated, but I was able to make it through them and play this little game for 2 to 4 players, 15 minutes long. A simple little game that has strands of blackjack in it, almost, kind of, sort of. Let me show you. Alright, here you see the little acorn cards that the game is made up of. There's 1 1, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, a single 5, 2 acorns that are 1s or 5s, 2 pawns which are -1, 2 pawns which are -2, and 2 loaches which change negatives into positives. There's also a pile of scoring chips that are, well, 1s or 5s. That looks like they got them from the beads store. Let's play. You put out cards in the middle of the table equal to the number of players, and then deal cards out to the rest of the players. For example, in a 4-player game, each player would have 3 cards. Now, on your turn, you can add a card face down to a pile, and each player starts with a few points. So let's say I start with 3 points. If you add a card face down, you have to place a chip on it. If you add a card face up to a pile, you get a chip. So obviously, playing a card face down is so no one else knows what that card may be. And so players can play cards face up, or they can play cards face down. And you can continue to do this. Now, when a player once there's 2 cards in a row, a player can decide to take one of those rows instead of putting a card out. So at this point I could take any of the rows if I want to. I could take this one here, or I could take this one. So let's say I take this one, and it's 4 plus 1, it's 5. As long as it's between 1 and 5 points, that's how many points I get. Hooray! That was fantastic. But what if I had taken this one? First of all, if I had taken it, I get the point that's on it. That's great. And then I look and it's 8. Oh, well, that's higher than 6. See, you don't want anything that's higher than 6, because then I lose the difference in points. So 8 minus 6 is 2, so if I had taken that one, I would have to give up 2 points. Now you can see how the cards that are 1 or 5 can be very handy in this regard. But what if something like this had happened, where there was a 4, and then someone played a -2 and a -1, and then another card on top of it like this, and then the loach was played face down? And I look at this and I say, okay, 6 minus 3 is 3. This might be a 3. That'd be great if I got a 6. And oh, no, now it's 4, 5, 9. I'm going to lose 3 points for taking this. You can't have more than 6 cards in one row, but this is an example of some of the things that happens. Now, if you take one that's worth negative points for whatever reason, let's say this one's -3, again, you lose points. You only get points if it's between 1 and 6. 6 is actually the best number. Let's say I took these 2 cards, and 5, I say this one's a 1 or 5, my choice, so I say 5 plus 1 is 6. Instantly, I get 6 points, and the round's over. No, we don't continue. Otherwise, once you take a row, you're out of that round, and everyone keeps going until everyone has taken 1 row, in which case you shuffle the cards and go again. And the first person to get 20 points is the winner of the game. It's very simple and easy. You just play it the same way each time. Lots of fun in this game, really. I was really surprised at how entertained I was. You are trying to outguess the other players. That's part of how it works. So, for example, there's a 5 there. On my turn, I put a card face down on top of that 5. It's your turn. Did I just put a 1 there? Because if I put a 1 there, that's 6. That's it. You got it. Round's over. But maybe I knew that you were going to think that, so I put a 4 there, which is, if you take that, means you'll get -3 points. You definitely don't want that, right? Right? And that's really the whole game there. But that's entertaining. Or a whole bunch of negatives, and I put a face down. It's putting those face down cards. But every time you do put a face card down, you have to pay a point. So sometimes you don't want to pay a point, or in many cases, you've run out of points to play, so you have to play cards face up. Think of this as a more evil version of Coloretto in a sense, because you're putting cards down and then you're taking them. But this, unlike Coloretto, which had you put cards down as you drew them and added them randomly, here you can choose what goes where, and you can put it face down so people don't see it. It's neat. I don't even know really why it has so few cards. I think they could have added another 10 cards and different options and add it to the fun of the mix. But as it works, it's a pretty neat little game. So have fun trying to find this one, but at the same time, we can hope that somebody reprints it and brings it to America. I even like the minimalistic artwork in it. I'm not usually not a huge fan of that, but just the little dancing acorns and the pond. I don't even know why the ponds are negative points. Is acorns in a pond, is that a bad thing? Who knows? But either way, I'm actually going to hang on to this game, just how cool and cute it is.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.
There.